certain qualities have traditionally been pigeonholed as masculine and feminine. So that's my starting point. And I believe all of us would benefit from seeing more of what's considered feminine valued at work, because women may be at the sharper end of this, but many men are affected too. And simply tweaking how things stand up with a leadership scheme here or a pay rise there will not create the kind of change we need. Neither will paying public lip service while keeping a tight private grip on the status quo. There must be a radical re-evaluation of how we work, and a cultural shift at the heart of it. That's why we've got to work together. Work is central to all our lives, but only half of us are making the most of it, and we're all losing out because of that. It's time to find a new way to work that will help us create a better future for all of us and our children. It's time for change. Chapter 1. Is work working against us? The secret of change is to focus all your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. Socrates. I'm sitting in the Arco Cafe in Knightsbridge, and I don't know which is more overpowering, the smell of fat or the reek of fag smoke. It's 1981, I'm 21, and I work as a window dresser at Harrods. I can't believe Elaine didn't get the job, Fiona says. We've got to do something. Fiona, who works with me on the back windows, is outraged. Our colleagues, Elaine and Roger, both went for a promotion, and he got it. They're equally talented, but we thought Elaine would get the job because she's been at Harrods far longer than Roger, and that's usually how things work. We've got to go on strike or something, Fiona hisses. Demonstrate. Contact our union. I stare at her. The only women I know who demonstrate are the ones at Green and Common Women's Peace Camp, and they chain themselves to fences in protest against nuclear arms. Doesn't look very comfortable. Don't you see, Mary, Fiona says with a withering look. If we don't do something, then none of us stand a chance. The men will always get the jobs. I don't really think too much about this kind of stuff. Isn't that just how things are? The only woman I've known who was in charge of something was my head teacher, and that's because it was a convent school run by nuns. We all knew who ruled the roost at home when I was growing up. My mother, Teresa. She looked after me, my sister, brothers and Dad. No car, part-time evening work as a cleaner, cooking, washing and cleaning for 6. And still, Dad's dinner was on the table the moment he got through the door. She was never not working. But Dad was the one who came home from work, clutching the staff newspaper with his photo on the front page. Dad was the person who put the money on the collection plate when we went to St. Helens every Sunday. In the eyes of the outside world, he was the one in charge. But as I sit in the cafe with Fiona, I think of my brothers, Michael, Joe and Lawrence, and I realise how unfair it would be if my sister Tish or I missed out on a job in favour of one of them, just because they're men. And then I think about Elaine. It's true what Fiona is saying. There are a lot of men in charge at Harrods. In fact, it's all men who run the display department where we work. Berge is head of front windows. Keith looks after the side, while Peter heads home and interior display. Then there's David, head of ground floor display. Andrew on the first floor, Alan on the second, Antonio on the third, and Paul on the fourth. Lou is the deputy display manager. His name isn't short for Louise. And above us all is the big boss, John. Oh, to be fair, there is a woman in the management offices, a secretary called Jane. Fiona is right. Floor after floor of men are managing women who rarely get the chance to manage them back. Elaine has been sidelined just because she's a woman. And that is so not on. But what are we going to do? I say. And within days, a few of us are stamping up and down the pavement outside Harrods' windows, but we aren't exactly a force to be reckoned with. Most of our women colleagues don't want to stick their head above the parapet, however much they agree with us. We tried to mobilise the union, but soon realised that our protestations are falling on deaf ears. Not long after, we melt into the background again. Soon Fiona will leave Harrods, and in time I will also resign to start a freelance career in window display. Because, although I'm not sure where I want to go, I know one thing after my first glimpse of sex discrimination in the workplace. I want to create opportunities that back then, as a woman, Harrods will never give me. If you're aged